to lose and then back to the drawing board the whole time. Making mistakes is knowledge.
Jurgen Uys,
co-founder of Versus Socks,
a top performance sock brand, known for their impressive technology, comfortability, and
massive events.
Our trail running event, 1,700 people. Everything that we're going to do, we're going all out. So on a 5 kilometer and a 16, we've got this massive chopper coming down. This is how we do it. The stuff doesn't always make sense. It's not the cheapest way, but we want to make a statement.
What have you learned about brand building?
You have to build a community, build a brand, build the perception. Spent a lot of time with that and that emotional feel.
You guys focused on giving value, and community members who are your raving fans spread and grow the brand for you.
That is the most potent part. Don't underestimate that.
You guys have an amazing community, but what steps did you take to actually build that community over the years? Jurgens, why do you do the work that you do?
Yeah, I sort of accidentally happened to find myself in selling socks. It comes from just the background of being a professional cyclist, aiming to be the best. And in that climate, I just saw this opportunity. And from a professional background, that type of things and lessons that you've learned there, I love to sort of apply that to our company and run versus, let's say, head office versus team as an absolute high performance team that compete. We also have our own competitors, but yeah, it's our dream team. And I sort of that's what we do and that's what we love, that competitive edge, and it's now in business, and yeah, business is fun.
I like it. So you mentioned that you were a professional cyclist. How did you get into that? And maybe walk me through a bit of that journey.
Yeah, and at school, probably grade 7, rugby wasn't a big thing for me. I actually enjoyed the individual sports. Cycling is quite individual, where the return on investment is all up to you. What you put in, you will sort of get out. And yeah, I was absolutely obsessed with cycling, the sport, and just the discipline around it, the strategy. And a lot of time I said, like, cycling, you lose 99% of the time. So that's perfect, like the world for business. Like, we are so comfortable at losing, but we will never give up trying. So obsessed. I didn't care about academics at all. I wanted to be a professional cyclist. 4 years after school, got a contract, got paid to ride my bike. And then obviously a reality check that I was not the next world champ, and I got this idea of the socks. Just because I'm so invested in cycling specific, you see that opportunities. It's not that I'm going to figure out what's the next golf club. The knowledge that I do have internationally also in that specific environment is a massive advantage, and obviously a bit of entrepreneurship mindset. Said, listen, there's a big opportunity in cycling socks. In South Africa, there was only one competitor and they had the monopoly. So for us coming in, it was the perfect timing.
And you mentioned that there was a point at which you realized that you weren't going to be the next world champion. What had to happen, and what were you going through in that moment, and how did you deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of, let's say, rugby players, you come to a sort of crossroad, some injuries, and it is the reality check. I mean, you have to be realistic with yourself. I'm a hard worker, but I do not have that absolute raw talent, and I can sort of keep on lukewarm going on, or I can sort of pivot and use what I've learned there somewhere else where it's a bit better. It was very difficult for me to let go, and I sort of, a few times I tend to go back to that. And as the business evolved, it's sort of enough stimulation for me now, where just all that lessons that I've learned in sport it's so valuable now. It's a massive up hand to be fit, to be mentally fit, to have the right team members around you, to have team talks, to over communicate what's the plan and what's the objective and who's the competition and navigating. I think business is the same as sport. And I love that, just that cross pollination of how it works, and the sort of value what I can add now is yes, and then I wouldn't have changed a thing. That was the perfect school for me to actually just go ride my bike professionally. It's cruel out there, and the business world. It's also we need all that type of discipline inside to be the best.
What were some of the challenges that you faced as a professional rider?
It's just that setbacks. A lot of people went to study after school. That's sort of the norm. So I haven't studied after school. That wasn't the plan. So immediately you got a different path. And for people to understand, they will not understand. They can't see what I see. They can't feel what I feel. So you get a lot of people that do not understand the path that you take, and that's normal. So you really have to believe in yourself the whole time. I've learned to lose a lot. You learn to lose and then back to the drawing board the whole time. Learn out of your mistakes. And learning or making mistakes is knowledge. So now again, like, we are not scared of making mistakes. We will take chances. We will make mistakes and then we learn. We'll obviously not risk like losing our whole business. That's just a bit stupid, but we play quite risky here and there. But yeah.
You mentioned self-belief. Was that a key trait for you to deal with the opinions of others in that kind of transition period?
Yeah, I think self-belief is super important. I mean, first of all, you start with this idea on my own, and I've got limited sort of skill and resources. I've got the idea, but there's no way that I've got ADD, ADHD, that I can sort of follow through on this plan. Then I had to surround myself with experts that actually got, like I said, previous, like the Swiss knife is the first employee. It's my business partner now. We are 50-50. But you have to sort of get them excited of what am I seeing. And it was actually close by where I've got a small flat, and I've invited him, and he showed me on the computer, and I said, okay, but you're going to work for me, I'll pay for you. But then he also got excited, and it took a few months, and he knew I've got a good idea and it's working, and he could see this is quite promising. I made some basic calculations, and I said, this is what we need to do, and this is a good business. And I think he saw a sort of color in the picture how this future will look like. And that's sort of the first person that you have to sell the idea to. And you have to get excited about it.
And could you walk me through how that idea came about?
The idea in cycling specific, I feel, it's a high performance sport. So all the equipment is tested in wind tunnels. All our clothing that we wear is very, very high end stuff. Very expensive. I think everything is about weight and efficiency. Your wind is the biggest enemy in cycling. And socks was such a neglected part of this whole, let's say, whole attire or the whole wardrobe that you wear. And I couldn't believe this is it. And then we had to import a lot of the top end brands, import them to sort of, we and our friends, we were not satisfied with the local market at all. And we were importing socks, and a massive, obviously on textiles, the import fees are very high. So it's not worth it for the international people to operate here, because government locally, they are trying to protect the last textile industries here. So that is, we also had the challenge, like we had to produce locally, but you have to locally make a good product. Otherwise we import high quality products, just to be satisfied. And internationally I had good products, but so it wasn't available for South Africa.
Okay, and you see this idea, you speak to your business partner about it, and what steps did you take early on to actually refine that idea and then turn it into a product, which then you started selling? Yeah,
so the first idea, we do like basic calculation. So I've got good. We checked on the internet, independent cycling stores. There's a lot. They are independently owned. It's not chain stores. So easy access. That was the first thing. Like, okay, so we can get a product. We walk in that store. We can speak to the owner. I can sell pairs on the spot. And then we sort of have a business. So obviously, yeah, supply is important. We had supply. The first time it took us a while. We weren't satisfied with the product. But they say if you are satisfied with your first product, it was too late. So that thing still, yeah, I'm shy about the first products. It's not on standard. But I mean, that didn't keep us back. We had this plan and it was okay for that market. In 2015, the product that we launched, that was the cool thing. If I show people now what it is, people will laugh at me. But for that time, it was right. And the thing is, I mean, sites and it's online, this and that, but that hard work of load that socks in your car, go see that people, go see what's the feedback, speak to the owners. Yeah, a lot of people showed us a way, and some people, yeah, said this is good, let's go. And then start off, buy the product, sell the product, and then reinvest. And that's how you build confidence and build a brand. Yeah, it's definitely not attractive, the first part. It's actually the lack of knowledge is so good for you, because yeah, if I have to do it over, I don't think I will do it.
What would you have done differently?
I don't think differently. It's just, yeah, I don't think you know what you let yourself into. It is, yeah, just to find traction in the market, to build it. It's such a long marathon. And that's why you must be highly passionate, because it's so easy to just fall out. This abandon ship like this, and because you actually only going to show. Thing is also you're gonna maybe make it, and I mean a bit. I mean, make a small salary here and there, or you can actually go into debt. It doesn't stop at zero, and that's like the risk of the entrepreneur. It's not like, listen, we stop. You can actually be in big trouble if you make a mistake. But we have played it cautiously. It's bootstrapped, so we didn't have the funds. We didn't play with other people's funds, so it was very small in the beginning, because we just didn't have that. Yeah, we didn't gamble on other people's money. It was our money.
And what kept you going at the beginning?
I just believe that we are definitely on. Obviously, the passion for the sport helped a lot. I understand it's going to take time. You're not going to just get it right on the beginning. And I knew we've got much more resilience. It's, let's say, one big competitor in South Africa. We are smarter, we are new, we are good on the marketing side. That comes quite naturally for us. So we just knew we had to believe in ourselves, believe in the strategy. The recipe will work. And then eventually, yes, a month you get better. And any sort of win we take in as a massive advantage, or I use it as extra speed or motivation. Like for us, making 1,000 Rand a month salary or profit is a massive win if you come from nothing. Like, yeah, so we weren't used to a salary, so that's the sort of bonus. If you get 1,000 after 5 months profit, it's a major win for us. Yeah, so, and that definitely helps a lot, because we are not used to anything. So a bit of tasting victory. Let's take that motivation for the next one. Next month is maybe 2,000. Okay, 5,000. Okay, now we can reinvest the 3,000 and take 2,000 out. So that small victories really kept us the eye on the prize. And we knew we are in it for the long run. This is a passion, and it's sort of it's not a quick buck that we're going to make. We knew that when we signed up for this thing.
Do you think that in your mind you had no other option, and this was the only thing that you wanted to make a success?
Yes, absolutely. I sort of didn't have any plan B, plan C. I mean, obviously my parents, my dad is a farmer, my mom is a PA, so they don't understand the business world, and the whole time, get back up, plan B, you need to go study. I didn't even have enough marks to go to study, and I can't study. So it was, I have to prove to myself and to people that I can do it. I need to stick out. I saw something, and it's not just, it's a unicorn. It actually, the unicorn is alive. And now eventually, it gives us a lot of confidence that flipping it, we are believing in our track record. It speaks for itself. And also employing team members. It's the whole time you can reflect back. There is something to reflect 10 years of, this is the path that we took. And so you're getting a lot of more believing easier, like this is how we navigate the different circumstances. We've come from this and that. Yeah, in a much better place now.
So many people don't know that back in 2015, you guys were putting stickers on the packaging and sending it out. How did that help in the overall understanding of the operations of the business early on?
Yeah, I think that's super vital. Till today, we can say any person that we employ or a team member, we have done that work. I know exactly how it feels. I know exactly what finger will start to hurt. And even the production line, we know what it takes. The sales, we know how difficult it is. And we can understand the in-depth understanding of each facet of the business. It's so valuable. Till this day, actually recently when we opened a manufacturing, we've spent, our team spent the whole Saturday having a full production day on their hours to feel how it feels. And the lessons that you've learned there, to get on the production floor. Because the business are growing quite fast and there's new stuff that we didn't even have the chance to taste, to feel, to pick and pack the whole day in the DC. How does it feel? What is the KPIs? What can be reached? So we implemented still that we still back here and there. Today we're going to have a full day like that in that person's shoes, and it gives us the best insights. You know exactly what is capable, what's a newbie, let's say a new person on the team, what is their realistic KPIs. It's for me, it's so valuable. I will keep on doing that.
And do you think that this also helps build trust with your team to the leadership and vice versa? It creates this more of a healthy culture, people wanting to succeed in the business because they know that you guys are just there next to them. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's you put your ego aside. I'll do whatever it takes. If it's mopping the floor, working with the cleaners, the insights that you get it's so big, and that opportunity to really it sounds so basic and stupid, but it's massive to like today we've got a top machinist. Today you're going to teach me how you do it, and I've got different respect, and how they see we are struggling. It is amazing to see that bond. For me it's we'll do whatever it takes. Obviously we can't do all the jobs every day, but here and there to be on the ground, even if I worked on the packaging machine the other day and found a few seconds that we can save, just seeing how the operation works. And that's also a big win. But yeah, just interacting, having lunch with all the people, doing whatever they do, we do.
What have you learned about building a healthy culture, and what sort of things do you implement?
Yeah, for us, you read a lot in books of, in the beginning, we usually say we couldn't afford the best. Obviously, we want the best, but we sort of hire a generalist. We've hired a generalist in the beginning, and then the company really fast-tracked, and then it came to a point where we need to hire a specialist. We had obviously made mistakes with whether it's either the company grows too quickly for certain individuals, and other time we made a mistake and we've tolerated the bad apples for too long. And I've read it in the books, but we've now the last 5 years firsthand experienced what does it mean to have the right person on the bus, and what is it to sort of get rid of the bad apples, even if they bring in the most money, if it's a bigger sale. And the stuff that I've saw firsthand experience, what does it mean to let go or to remove people that's not good for your culture. It is a massive buy-in from the team. If you really stick to your word and if you really protect the culture and the team, and my job is to create harmony, make sure the team nobody's bigger than the team. So for nowadays, we do have our own HR on board as well, but we spot it quickly. We hire as a team together a new person, but we immediately, if there is something wrong, it's our job to get as soon as possible to the root cause, because that is a massive handbrake in your business. You need to have people on board and pulling in the same direction. Yeah, it's a big thing for us, the culture. And I think all of the people say team and culture, but to see it firsthand what happens, and it's fast. When you remove a bad apple, how you all of a sudden just get an extra 20% production or boost in morale from everybody, and that's really that's potent combo to have.
And I guess it also comes down to the leadership knowing what you want and what you value, and then that getting passed down to the team. Do you guys have systems or principles that you would share with the team, or is that in your recruitment process?
Yes, it starts with recruitment, how we learn and that type of things. But I mean, we will always make mistakes. That you get the wrong person, on board, and it's just maybe the misfit, or it's just not the culture fit. It's not the employee, or it's not sometimes us. Sometimes it's just not a good gel. We've got some values that's a non-negotiable for us. We are quite particular, and I also feel being that strict in that process also attracts your next big hiring. If you've got a high-performance team and you do not tolerate these type of things, you already attract those high performers that would love to be in that team, and that's what we see now. So you sort of help yourself. If you are really aggressive on your culture and say, listen, we don't tolerate coming late or a 2-minute late, or we are talking here, we want to be the world champs, and we are tolerating all these small stuff. And it's that detail stuff, but yeah, I feel really you attract that high performers, and it's absolutely a privilege for a high performer to be in a high performance team. That's where they flourish, to have like your colleagues are the best in like the top 10% in their division in the world. That's special, and there's not a lot of companies that have that, where you're actually in the right environment, where everybody is performing at a very high level. That just makes us exciting, and we will still carry on believing this is our culture, and we won't budge a lot on that.
I know that attracting high performers is one thing, like you mentioned, but how do you ensure that you keep on being at that 1%, best of the best in the world, that world championship level? How do you ensure that consistency?
For us, that I think it comes back to the cycling. I mean, you're as good as your last event, and it's like a week or 2 weeks. It's just so quickly. Where a lot of the time people say, but you do not stop and celebrate the wins. We celebrate almost like quickly a win, and then it's up to the next thing, and that's just in our DNA. Like, we don't get fixated on wins that we've done. It's like immediately, what's the next challenge? And then continuous learning, sharing your knowledge, sharing mistakes that we've made, being as open as possible to the team. Like, this is where I'm struggling. So we really do encourage a lot of openness. Let's learn from each other. We are human at the end of the day. We are stronger as a team. It's a privilege to be here. But we are just the owners. We do not know everything. And we're making a lot of mistakes and asking questions and that. But it will always be, we always feel we can do better. But I think that's just in our DNA.
And do you notice that your team members seem to be more open when you are more, call it, vulnerable and sharing, actually, I think this is the way, but this, I don't know if it's going to work?
Yeah, for me, being vulnerable, it's easy to say, listen, I'm bad here, who can help me assist there? I mean, that's we want the strongest people in each division. For me, I feel personally I'm easy vulnerable. It really opens up the conversation, and people say you are human. We are not like superhumans. You are the owner of this, but it doesn't make me more special. I've got also certain talents that I bring to the table, but it's nothing without these other extras. So that's where you really value your team that have to assist, and the first person that you hire is your weakest trait. And so we've got so much respect just for a person to come in. Let's say I don't like sales. I mean, you're my biggest friend now, because it's a really, I've struggled, and to see that, like, yes, sales actually gives you energy and you love it, and that's exactly what we need, and that's exactly what you need. And then just encourage people and say, listen, you've made a massive difference. For me, it is so great to have you on the team. You've changed my life, because that gives me much more energy to take that off my plate, because that was a draining factor for me. Yeah.
Speaking about sales, so you guys were able to get into big retailers like Sportsman's early on. What advice do you have to entrepreneurs, businesses that want to partner and get into these big retailers?
Yeah, that's the retail. I mean, it was always a dream to be in, let's say, Sportsman's Warehouse, KP Unimart, the big chains, the Sport, Total Sports, these guys. It's not where a local brand, there's not a lot of local brands that sort of make it into those. They've got international brands, your Nikes, your Under Armour, these guys are there, it's international brands. And then some of the in-house brands do these chains, they own it. So for us to sort of get in, it's not a nice proposal or a nice PowerPoint. And we figured that out. You do not get that meeting. Just, I need a meeting with the right person. You're not going to get it. Like, don't even try. So we said, we must make enough noise where they can't, where they have to see us. And we went to all the expos. We made all the noise. Like, they obviously want to see. I mean, talking is a big thing. 2015 talking, we're going to be the world champs. I mean, everybody can say that, what I've said there. But after 2 years, like, this is what we're going to do. They will have to see us. If we make enough noise, and our marketing was quite loud, they can't ignore us. It's their job. As a buyer, you need to be vigilant in what's happening in the environment. And then in 2017, we got an email like, listen, come into the head office. And we were so happy. Like, finally, it took 2.5 years of continuing. This is where we're going. We are not going to stop. And the one thing led to another. They tested us in a few stores. And it's not all of a sudden you've made it. It was very little. And then, yes, they're looking for sell-through. The first, they buy the products, they sell through, and then you get a bit more space on the shelf. They go to more doors, and then the one retailer gets big, and then their competition, the other retailers also see, and it sort of snowballs. But yeah, just to that initial, it's going to be difficult to get their attention.
And early on, what were you doing to make that noise, as you described?
For us, the brand was launched at, so online is one thing. And then we've got independents, that's people don't even know how many they are. So online is hidden, sort of. I mean, everybody can build a nice online store. So we're only offline where we could make quite a splash was at expos, at your, let's say, your Comrades Expos, Two Oceans, Cape Town Cycle Tour 94.7. And that's where we sort of go quite big, where people sort of judge you immediately on visually, like we are quite big. And that helps, and that's where the buyers are, and the big guys are hanging out there in that space, in the sports space, and that helps us a lot to you sort of really put all your money in. Until today, I mean, if you walk into let's say a shop, and it's Cadbury chocolates, and Cadbury is massive, and this is a small, I immediately go to the guy that's the biggest. So if we can come to the expos and we are the biggest, even if it's established brands, just for that 3 days, it makes a big perception change for buyers. And yeah, we really try to go as big as possible because visually it made a big impact.
And what have you learned about brand building, and how were you guys able to build the Versus brand over the years?
Yeah, the brand building, I've spent a lot of time with that, and that emotional feeling, and people buy much more than just a product. At the end of the day, we are just a performance sock, but people buy into a feeling in a bigger community. And brand identity, people want to resonate with a brand, and end of the day, we're quite harsh. Like a lot of the times, it's like, I'm still the target market of this brand. If we don't like it, the people, we're not going to, if we don't like it, we can't see the people's gonna like it. Any touch point, what they see of the brand, we try to keep it as on brand as possible. And yeah, social media, engaging with each customer that they feel special. As usually tell our team as well, we don't pay your salaries. It's these people that wear our socks. If we see them, we obviously, yeah, we see the product outside. But brand building is always, we'll always work hard on that. You have to build a community, build a brand, build the perception. If there's any offline things that they see, what's the perceptions that kind of form? Is how are we merchandise when you walk into a store?
So you also spoke about building your community. What things did you do? And you guys have an amazing community, but what steps did you take to actually build that community over the years?
For us, it's quite easy in the sporting industry. We do have South Africa is known for a lot of running events and cycling events. So that's sort of where we really can engage offline directly to our client base. We also have our own trail running event. That's where our whole team get involved. We go all in. This is our brand. We call it a brand exercise. We are not an events company. We do not need to make money there. We really pour all the money from entry fees back into it, make a massive splash. And that's the opportunity that we can actually spend time and document people really just enjoying organically. We also have our flagship store in Dorp Street, and every Friday morning there's a 5K run, and we attract about 200, 400 people every Friday morning, and that stuff is it's so valuable. It's just that offline. The shop isn't open. We don't care about sales. Let's enjoy the sport. It will automatically, like all the influencers, everybody's in the same community. That thing will boil over, and the message will come across. So that offline events is big for us to get involved. Either we go hard on our own events, or we will see if we can partner with other events.
I think what I've noticed about your journey is that you guys focused on producing a good, actually great product first and actually giving value. And then it seemed like these community members who are your raving fans spread and grew the brand for you. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, I think I've read the other day, we weren't satisfied with our product. We struggled with supply, and in the beginning, we are obviously biased, but our product now after 10 years is, I feel it's the best that we've ever put out there, and I feel it's sort of the best in the world. Not to get complacent, but that helps a lot. Just that organic. If you do have a good product, you do not you can't underestimate that word of mouth, how quickly it spreads, and that is the most potent part. People do not always believe brands or marketing. If you have a second opinion of a friend that this is the product, that is so valuable in discussions if we can come up. So yes, if you start with a good product, you are sort of set. You set yourself up for big things, and then your distribution must be good. And then your raving fans do the work sort of for you. They are soldiers on the ground. They are so organic. They are just implementing your product in their daily lives. And that's organic. It's so valuable. And then we work a lot with micro influencers. We want person, if you click on their profile, this is their job. Their primary sport is running or cycling, and they will promote that. We do not like the olds or forcing any product. It will organically happen. If we work with an athlete, it must be, listen, you've got, let's say, 1,000 followers, but you are so well known in the community in your running space. That is so valuable for us. They've got so big influence in that group. So I want that raw people that this is my primary sport. Those people are massive assets for us. And they will assist wherever we can with product, or a lot of the time we see them in social media and they do not get the product. They buy the product and they love it, and they just spread the word.
You also spoke about distribution. What challenges did you have when you were scaling across regions, countries?
Yeah, distribution's interesting story. So we started 2015 in a garage, and my business partner's garage. We shared 50% of the garage with his dad's tools. So the picking and packing was, it was not ideal. And we've done it ourselves for 2 years. And then we moved to our first office in Technopark, probably 70 squares, hold all our stock, pick and pack every single order. And then we've hired a picker and packer. And then we've moved. the distribution or the DC side, the stock holding has moved the office around the whole time. So we've moved in 1 year 4 times. It's not we've scaled with people, we've scaled with the stock. So the stock is the whole time. Then it's back, then I've got a room at my house and there's backup stock and there's backup stock at that house and on that carpet somewhere. And then we came too big where the production is scaling up and down. I mean, that volumes where your team is quite stable, you can sort of plan the growth and a person doesn't take that much space. So we moved 4 times just to try to accommodate the volumes of the, let's say the stock, the boxes. It's going up and it's in season, out season. That's not very good for a company because you've got extra space standing empty and then all of a sudden you can't fit in. And then you fit in and you don't. Then we went to a 3PL where a 3PL distribution center where they manage with different brand stock in there. So that's experts operating with your fully on integration, and that's where experts handle incoming, inbound, outbound, pick and pack, the last QC process, and that's offsite. And also it's less of a distraction. It worked well for that time for us. We went 2 years outsourced production, and then we also. Another thing that we've learned after times and we shared a lot with our team is our standard is just so high that it's very difficult for a supplier to sort of work with us. We are not too complacent. We are not okay with average. Even the detail on how you tape a box must be perfect. And that we said we can do it better. We're going to insource it. So we've hired our own DC managers, our own infrastructure, and we do have the knowledge of systems in-house, and we've built our own thing. And today we've insourced our DC back to ourselves. We are full on control. If a mistake is there, it's our mistake. We take responsibility for it. But we can immediately and so fast figure out where that mistake is, and we are 100% focused on our brand, and not where you're in a distribution center where you in distributing 10 different brands where you are not number one priority, even though they sell you that idea. So back we took the risk. We've got our own DC, and that was the right decision for us in this time now, having full control of that process.
And challenges when you scaled to other regions and countries in terms of logistics?
Yes, we've tried to. Last 3 years, we aggressively went to the UK to open the DC or office on that side. It is difficult for us just with our rand and the dollars and the pounds swimming upstream. For a South African brand, you quickly run out of ammo. Everything is expensive. You do not understand. You've got no network. People charge you so much. You sort of just treading water. Very difficult, and I've said to everybody, let's move back to a basic model as a centralized DC where we do have our own resources and leverage off a DHL and a tunnel. These guys are experts, and the flights are going out every day where we distribute door to door. We distribute globally now 60 active countries every single day, and we can use, DHL got crazy good infrastructure. We've got a centralized DC. We pick and pack every day. It's on our system. We've got full control, and it goes working with DHL as absolute international experts. Tunnel are experts in that. Let them handle that last mile international delivery, and that have just streamlined a lot of our stuff. And it is difficult to navigate in another country with different banks and how they system work and different time zones. So I see a lot of the bigger brands also sort of trimming down, not to have satellite DCs, to have a centralized full-on and then leverage off the best to do that last mile one.
And in terms of marketing, how were you able to expand to those other countries?
Yeah, till the States, it's not easy for us. I thought it could happen a bit easier. I feel the international, let's say your first world countries, they do have so much options where, for a new brand coming in there, you have to do a lot of work. We do our best on social media, on Facebook and paid media and that type of thing. For us, the strategy is South Africa is a no-brainer. We must win it. We must be the absolute best. I know international is not going to run away, We must own it, so we're not anxious about it, and it will organically, the word will spread. We do get a lot of even tourists coming to Stellenbosch, take that product overseas, and we can see them starting to purchase online and that type of thing. The growth is good enough. We are not almost throwing too much fuel on that international fire yet. We also always have to check that our back end can handle that type of thing when we really rev it up. So it's always a balance, front end focus, back end focus. So that type of thing. But for us, it's nice to know that this product is valuable overseas, and international won't run away for us. And we are slowly beginning to understand more different countries, how they operate, how they work. Do we work with distributors? Do we work direct to consumer? There's different models. It's not just a one size fits all. So we've learned a lot. We've burned a lot of fingers, but I feel we are starting to really formulate a good strategy for us for the next, it's after 10 years that are starting to talk a lot about our international strategy. Because a lot of the time it was on our back burner. It wasn't a focus for us. Because a lot of people hate going wide very quickly. It sounds attractive, UK and Germany and UAE and Australia. But we need to speak about depth, and I'd rather go deeper in some countries than being just lukewarm in each country, because it's a lot of work in a country.
Yeah, I think that was going to be my next question. Would you advise going deep first and then expanding wide? I think that can be mistakes that early stage entrepreneurs make, is trying to serve many markets when they haven't really focused and kind of competed in that one market. For example, you guys in South Africa, and dominate that market and then expand. It seems like was your strategy.
Yeah, I think just back to the sport, in cycling, you sort of can be, I can operate easily in the top 10 in South Africa. As a professional, when I was professional, that was sort of where I can operate at. Take myself overseas, then you small fish in a big pond, then you really get the wake-up call, like the level that you need to be at. So your home ground, you need to win it. Like it's not going to get easier somewhere else. For our specific industry, let us say that. Maybe if it's an international other type of industry, it can be different. But for us, being a specialist, this is our target market, this is our plan, win this game. If we need to win this. There's no other way that we can. I think it's so easy to get distracted. It's difficult. Yeah, let's move to the next one. And a lot of people have asked, what's next for us? I said, there is no next. We want to be a specialist in performance socks. It's not going to change. And that type of focus, that absolute focus, because it is some quiet days like, listen, we can put a logo on a t-shirt. Listen, we can sell arm warmers. Or listen, we can do that. Or I got a good supplier, we can sell mugs. And I think so much you can go wide, but wide is enough. I think the market is so competitive. We need specialists, and that's one message that comes across. Versus is we are specialists in performance socks, and till we are not number one, we will not give up. And that's the message out there. It's no secret. We are not going to diversify. We will have the best products, and that just focus for us and for the team. That's a lot of people ask interviews, what's next? Nothing is next. That product. We want to be the world champs. And you can't be the world champ in different products. So winning your own ground is a must. And we're specializing. We want to win that product. So number one, win South Africa with the best product. And then go overseas.
You spoke about risk taking early on, and I just put a pin in it. I wanted to come back to it. Would you say that you're a high risk taker?
Yeah, I get excited about big ideas, or I always say there must be something on the agenda that makes me scared. Otherwise, then I'm not satisfied. So everything in our planning, there must be a date or a launch or something that puts me a bit on edge. I love that feeling. I love taking risks. And if it doesn't work out, then we learn out of it. But I also do have more analytical people in the office that sort of give me the reality check. And so we need both of us. but usually I'm quite heavy invested in on the marketing side, and we do not have to be too analytical and too figured out, or we can take our risks on that side.
And if you had to give me an example of how you would risk take, and something that has helped you into building the business, could you think of something?
Sure. Now it sounds, I think it's a bit smaller stuff, but we'll always go overboard. For instance, we did recently our trail running event, and that's 1,700 people, and then I just tell the people, so everything that we're gonna do, we're going all out. The stuff doesn't make sense. It's then we hired a chopper. And everybody said, yeah, but do you know you have drones and it's much cheaper? I said, yeah, but we want to make a statement. Like, the chopper is coming. I don't care if we don't take salaries, but we bringing a chopper in. It was like, so on a 5 kilometer and a 16, we've got this massive chopper coming down. Like, it's never been done before. And that's the type of thing that we just love taking risks on. Like, this is how we do it. The stuff doesn't always make sense. It's not the cheapest way, but we want to make a statement. If you had an event, a 5K run, and there's a chopper following you, the people loved it, and that type of stuff makes us exciting.
I love it. I think using absurdity in business and marketing is something that I also learned. So I love that example about the chopper. And just reading up a bit about your journey, you've gained skills in venture management, in the strategy side of things, in building relationships. Which of these would you think is the most important, and why were these important in helping you build versus to where it is now?
Yes, I think and it's easier for me, ADD, ADHD, struggling. I have to surround myself with talented people. So you have to communicate very well, because I can't do everything on my own. Quickly, I have to find some people who I've got a lot of plans, but I can't execute all of them. And that's where you understand, okay, how does it work to get that message across, how as basic as possible to sell that dream or plan to somebody. So that I've learned from school level. On the professional cycling, I had a CV. My CV was sort of my performance. Also, you have to get sponsors involved. You have to look after a relationship. There's continuous feedback. There's a trade exchange. I mean, people are going to spend money on you. So I was also sort of employed. I was employed, and I understand. I've got a much better understanding if we work with people, like, what is the trade exchange? So all this growing up have taught me a lot, the relationship. And I'm obviously amped, but there's people and there's a trade exchange and high performance. They want to be paid well, they want to be in the right culture, and you need to talk to them and understand the different visions and their plans. For us now, my biggest goal is our dreams must be big enough where individual dreams can be fulfilled in the company. And then that's a win for us. And so communicating of HR, we recently having a full-time HR on board as well to assist us, but always said that, told us over communication. And now that really helped me a lot. Over communicate to everybody, and obviously vice versa. If they can over communicate, we know where we stand, what's expected from you. Communication, relationship building, trust, that type of things. Yes, I can't actually say anyone above the other. They sort of, you need it in your backpack.
In terms of managing I would say, your passions currently with business responsibilities, with this work-life balance, if it exists for entrepreneurs, how have you managed to find the harmony between all of those and to still feel this fulfillment in your everyday life?
Yeah, I mean, it obviously I've changed from your single focus is individual. I must be as fast cyclist or best individual that I could be on the bike. And now in the business, just a different dynamic of every day we have to problem solve, assist wherever we can, any team member, anything where I can add value. There's so much stimulation for me. I really enjoy it. I feel any difficult to be in. Sometimes like we are actually firefighters, and I said to somebody, if I wouldn't have done this, I probably would have been a firefighter, but the action must be on the whole time. I don't want to sit and wait for a fire. So it is in our DNA. I love what's next. Like, we are ready for that. It's so engaging, and it's this thing that's growing and evolving. It's changing quickly, and people are changing and getting team members on board, and I would navigate them. It's never the same. I love it so much. It's obviously, you're sort of obsessed with it. It's not always a balance, but that's also the sort of obsession that you need to really get it off the floor. Where it plays a big favor to have that rapid focus and absolute obsession about a thing. But that exact thing that you can obsess to, it can also be your biggest enemy. So for me, that won't change, is eating healthy, exercise, surround myself with the right people, making sure, then the work is never going to stop. We can always do more. To sort of have boundaries, or it's a non-negotiable. I need to exercise an hour, 2 hours a day. I'm feeling really poor the day when I can't cycle, where the work have consumed so much. So for me and my business partner and our whole work environment, that we are doing this for the long run, so it must be sustainable. We're trying our best, and now with a bit more maturity on 10 years, we can have a bit more stability. It's not that we have to overextend every day and keep ourselves busy, because busyness doesn't always grow the company. So,
wise words. Jurgens, thank you. This is very insightful. Thank you for the tips and for sharing your story and coming on. Thank you.
No, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Cool.